Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide. As outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world, it is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on March 1st, 2026 on divine-gpms.org. We have guardians, representative all over the world, and also we have with us the High Priest of Melchizedek Order, Rick Jewers. He is also the founder of divine-gpms.org. Hi, Rick, and I am so happy that you are here on these divine times. Many things happens. But all the time, the first question it is, where are we with the ascension? We can see a lot of things already happening inside of the system this time. It's not all the time outside of the system. It's not only to the planetary level outside of the system, but inside of the system. I know that your description was when things started to be seen also inside of the system. So we have the real sign of the ascension there. I understand that. But at the same time, please let us know what it is your opinion about the ascension on these times by March 1st, 2026. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. First, can you hear me well? Is this working properly?
Yes, yes.
All right, great, great. So, last week what I mentioned, what I was given by Father with this ascension that we were entering, let's say, 5 months of turmoil. However, we would again reside up on the higher level of that, more as observers to what is going on. And so, having said that, we see it already begun, I believe, yesterday or what have you, with the attack on Iran, but also the increasing ongoing exposure by the Epstein files, if you will, that's actually was incriminating, well, let's say revealing many worldwide. So this again has to occur, but with the overall ascension, the actual sentiment, and the sentiment is how most are feeling. We'll say the majority sentiment now is coming more into alignment with the ascending planet as they're seeing all of the chaos again, the natural signs, putting all of the dots together, and also referencing the Bible, what is written in there. It's becoming more and more obvious to more and more every moment that the ascension is very real, that the world is changing. Yes, there's still a lot of confusion out there as ones look for their direction. But again, when they look for their direction and when they're at a certain point, they will see that GPMS is here and that it's been divinely provisioned for this time as the choice and the replacement system for the planet, for Earth, if you will. So it's been a tedious process with this, taking multiple years so far. However, we are making incredible moves forward all the time, as with the lower timeline, as things are revealed, it's pushing people more and more forward with no choice as but to make a choice for the peaceful um, Divine-gpms.world, if you will, the replacement system. Also what have been given, I didn't put this out publicly yet. Um, what you'll begin to see also is see, in this great time, this has been divinely prescribed that ones would receive marks. So there's two things that occur. There is the mark of God that is typically seen on the foreheads of ones, and there's also the trickery and the mockery by the darkness that there will be marks put on them as well. But this is on the higher soul level, what's occurring is those that are able to make the quick transitioning are marked by God, if you will, on the forehead. And many of these have been marked in the past with scars. So anyone that ever got a mark on your forehead, typically above your brow in this area, anywhere, if you had a scar or an injury, uh, and you're aligned with everything that is good, it means you've already been marked and selected by God. So everything what has occurred in your life, in your reality, is in a much stronger alignment towards what is occurring. Now, this does not mean that one, let's say just today, does not have a mark. It does not mean they have an important role to play yet. I am only saying that certain ones were selected and marked early by God. It is correct to use an analogy that this is a battle for the souls on earth as well. So those that go forward into the new world, and let's say those that cannot make it are left on an intermediate timeline at least. But I don't speak right now about the full divine mechanics of what occurs. Our focus is to keep gathering those that are in alignment and being here for them as they raise up out of their confusion and finally see that there is a real hope, that there is the real direction that is being created. So with the overall ascension as well, rashes, sores will break out on those. You'll come to see this more and more by those that, let's say, cursed God or didn't believe God. You'll see these ones with great fear, yet within them perhaps breaking out in rashes and sores. And so, to what extent you will see this, I cannot really say, because one of the reasons is the divine ones are depending on where you're at, you're more so protected in a upper level of reality where you may not see much of this playing out, as well as it is all playing out, as well as the deaths increasing worldwide while the childbirths becoming less and less because the world is in depopulation mode. But typically, if you look around you, you may not have many of your divine colleagues vanishing, if you will. But on the lower level, there are many that are. Um, so yeah, I'll just we're going forward. As we've seen, March 3rd is very significant. Um, And at any time, also, I didn't put this out yet, but very possible what I'm given is that there could at least be one meteorite strike, and that may be in the ocean, but it may be documented and recorded. So this is preliminary from Divine. However, it would be a significant sign, and it's possible that it can occur very soon or even at March 3rd. So March 3rd and March 6th is important dates once again. Everything is always in divine flux. There's always something occurring, whether you see it or not. Everything is always going forward. And also, what I had to put out the other night, it's important for one's to keep your eyes open in the sky and, in your surroundings outside. If you see a greenish yellow mist, because this is very important. In the least, it's an indicator that you're not in constant time, and that when you see this mist, it also can be a confirmation that you're about to enter a different timeline trajectory. Everything in your surroundings will stay or remain mostly the same, that you will think that nothing occurred. However, you are no longer constant in time at the time when you see this green and yellow mist, if you will. Also, it's common for ones to be documenting and confirming their self displacement in time. I'll give an example with a couple days ago, because I had to have it also to know to share with the others. I was on my phone. It was 5:03 p.m. And so I just glanced at the time and I just set it down, and a notification message come in from one, just a message. And when I picked it up and opened it up, it was back to 5 p.m., 5:00. So 3 minutes I had jumped backwards, which I had to. But then later that day, around between 6:09 and 6:23, I was also put back from 6:23 to 6:09. So these were two recorded instances of I being displaced in time. And typically with I, for my divine role on Gaia, on Earth, and assistance with this ascension, typically these sort of things are divinely provisioned to occur with I first. So I have the information of what is going on and what is actually happening. So I can assist others, and say, hey, it's all right. This is normal. This is part of what's occurring at this time, to alleviate and eliminate confusion. And again, I am a divine ascension guide to that effect as well. So you do experience these phenomenon, and yes, it's very real, and reality is not as it seems, and with creation as well, it's not as it seems. There are so many what you could call, what humans would call, phenomenal attributes. And this has also been provision for humanity, and I like to use uh, when Jesus with God manifested all of the food and the bread out of, I believe it was 2 loaves of bread, maybe, and 3 fish. Just don't hold me on the number, but he made that into enough to feed 5,000. So the importance of this is that food, bread and fish materialized, if you will, out of thin air. And, that's just one occurrence with it. But these are very real things that did occur, even though, let's say, you might not have been there physically. These things have been recorded, but also with testimony in the past, by ones being there. And of course, things have been manipulated, including, the Bible and ancient teachings, but there are core truths that do hold true. And what I've been given is that divine Jesus Christ, not fully in the material form, but let's say in the energetic etheric form or what have you, is visiting more and more. So they're having these actual profound, very real experiences. So this is occurring with more and more, and it is true. We are in these times, so it is very, very real what is happening. And again, it's irrefutable for any that's in alignment with it and paying attention and looking at all of the signs. The signs abound now. So anyone that wishes to just look at things and put all the dots together, it lays out a pretty distinct divine picture. And what is amazing with it, if you are theologically inclined, if you will, to look in the past at biblical text, scripture, and writings, and I'm not speaking about what the Vatican present you. There's many other important teachings from the Essenes. I love the grandmother Anna of Jesus' book. That's a very good example. The Gnostics, the Book of Thomas, the Book of Mary Magdalene, even, all of these important writings that were excluded and manipulated in the Bible. And I also need to go to the Geneva Bible of 1560 and a final revision in 1599. These Bibles, if you will, they differ over the years, and things come and go, and when they're rewritten, these are the times that a lot of important things are left out as well. So if you're looking at the Bible, if you will, to follow, really just follow the core values and be a good soul and, do everything right. Do not be deceitful. And it makes it much easier to keep yourself in alignment. But the dog is barking. That's my cue to stop rambling. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. Nicole, probably it is the first time that you are coming on open public or Dwight meetings. I would like to hear more about you. If you'd like to present yourself, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, sorry, the logistics of where all of the video and the mute and the things are new to me. So, okay, I think we're good now. Certainly, I feel like I am in alignment with the greater mission that you all are sharing. My life has been, I'm a classical yoga teacher. I did that for 20 years, and as well as a school teacher. And for the past 5 years, I've been heavily into grid work. So I have had to be very mobile. You spoke earlier of the homeless, and that has been my charge for the past 2 years. I actually had to live as a homeless with them here in Los Angeles, in Venice Beach, last year before the fires. And then 5 months on Maui. I've actually lived on Maui for almost 2 decades. That's my home base. I have 2 children. They're grownish. Yes, so that piece of information that you touched upon is actually perhaps why I'm here with you all.
Yes, thank you so much. This subject about the homeless and having no food and having not what we need. And basically, it's all about the system that we started to speak a little bit before what I observed that finally something big is happening inside of the system. As Rick mentioned also, it is about Iran, and also Epstein file. But I found also myself that finally BlackRock, Blackstone are leaving New York, and they are heavily involved also in the real estate in Canada, in the United States too. And they want it to be to manage all the real estates by 2030. So this was the what is called on the freedom movement as the agenda of 2030, that basically right now we know that will not happen anymore. So this is letting all the people without home and without food and everything that is necessary. So this is the reduction of the population. Yeah. So this is all about. And many of us experiencing how can I say, various forms. So probably we were exactly as homeless, but many people probably thought what is happening because
Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
yes, because what is happening at this time in Canada, and I saw also in the United States, it is about economic tsunami, I would say. That it is a sort of way that they found a way to let the people homeless. So even though they have houses, via the insurance company right now, I saw what is happening there. So basically, it is the artificial intelligence behind that will find a way, do not insure the people anymore. When you have the mortgage with the bank, you have a provision inside. Then basically, if your house is not insured for the next year,
Mm,
you cannot keep the mortgage. So it's
mm,
not only to come with high property taxes, but this is basically come on the equity that it's all the time higher and higher. Then basically, there are many ways right now that started since probably December 2025 when the people will become homeless. So GPMS is here exactly as Rick said, and we will start to hear more about the definition of the true sovereignty, because GPMS, it is about the self-determination. It is what the people understand better here in Canada, self-governance. And it is exactly the right time, basically, to collect all the population that will remain homeless and having no food. So finally, probably it is the time to start to unite, because it is a lot of how can I say, this BlackRock and also the Illuminati was how can I say, extremely I'm not saying intelligence, but had the darkness ability, to divide the people and turn against the immigrants. So after that, they made the earth in such a way that the people were coming for jobs or whatever in supposedly other country. We have known the country, but they were coming in other places just to live, because for better condition of living or to have a job and to have a food on the table. Right now, they try to make to divide the population and basically to put us to fight each other inside of the supposed countries where the people are born or not born in that place. So basically to start to fight where are you born and to start to look into. And they also, the government of Canada gave some money more to some new immigrants coming, then basically the homeless people that they were born, for example, in Canada, they started to fight over this kind of the immigrants without understanding the big picture. So in reality, it is about the Illuminati, it is about the darkness that divides. What we need to do, it is exactly the opposite. We need to unite and to know the true sovereignty definition and to understand that GPMS, it is divine. We are in divine time and we need to unite, then we start. We start a system that creates abundance. So Rick, yes, you told me that you are a little bit sleepy, but I believe that after I will put the definition of the sovereignty will be like a coffee because this one activates me all the time. So
Thank you for that. And I would also, I'd like to thank Rick for his guidance as well. And I would like to ask a question, if I may. Rapture, this idea, I appreciate your insights into describing it as more as not so much, if I am understanding correctly, as a physical extraction, but a removal of you being bound in time, so that you're in it and not of it, but yet you're still witnessing it and working within it. Is that correct?
Oh, thank you, Nicole. First, in the way, the definition that I use for rapture, which I love, is the upliftment with that, and sometimes sudden upliftment. And you can apply this to, let's say, when one begins awaken sometimes it's abrupt, that their whole world flips from knowing this was a lie to knowing the truth that it was the lie, as an example. But also with the upliftment, with the rapture event, because most associated, the rapture definition with perhaps just going up into the clouds, into the sky. But when you really metaphorically look at this, it is when one has their head in the clouds, metaphorically, they are in the rapture, if you will, especially with this ascension. But having said this, there are at the same time multiple truths and rights with it. And when I say right, meaning that correct, if you will, and with this. So, what is occurring is that, and you might have heard references of flashpoint where
Mm-hmm.
reality just completely changes. And
Yes.
what I was speaking about with the green mist, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that also can change your reality. But also, I'll use myself for example here with my scenery of the low mountains and hills around. And, on a same perfectly clear day, at times there'll be different mountains there, or some will just be gone as well. So this shows you that reality can and does change as well. And of course, depending partially on your vibration and your frequency, what you are pulsating, what you are resonating at, because all reality is energy, and all energy is frequency. So when you began to put all of these together, you see, yes, a rapture
Yeah.
event can suddenly happen that takes all of those good souls forward and leaves the wicked behind. So you could say the wicked could be left behind on another lower version of Earth Gaia, while all of those that were in alignment with a higher frequency, that they go forward on a different version. And when you look at physics, what is known to humanity, physics will also very nicely and cleanly will show you this. And when you get into deeper physics like astrophysics and what have you, what I'm saying no longer becomes fantasy. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes supported by what is known with the advancement of physics and science, on Earth. And this place is, it's not what it seems. So with the rapture, um, we are marginally,
Mm-hmm.
incrementally rapturing all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it looks like it's getting worse out there, it has to before it gets better as well. So we have simultaneously a few things that's occurring, and that's why it can be confusing. And it's why most are told, do not judge things, remain as objective as you can so that you don't get confused with what's occurring, because these are unprecedented things occurring. and it is we are in this unprecedented time. And again, miracles are very real, can happen and do happen, and more of those miracles are occurring. The further we go forward and the more positively aligned ones are, you create the energetic atmosphere for more miracles to occur with
Thank
it.
you.
If that answered it,
It
yes,
does. And just and
you're
one
welcome.
add-on, if I may. So
Yes.
with the bifurcation of the two timelines, so the wicked, okay, they're going to be gone. And then here we are.
Mhm.
But do we still have to like clean up this mess, but without the interference now any longer? Or is it, like you said, the blink of an eye, we're in a new where all of the mess is already cleaned up? Or, you know what I mean?
Uh, Yeah, both can occur with this. I'm not given exactly yet what will occur,
Okay.
but what is possible is we could be raptured into a pristine
Yeah.
version of Earth, but also what we are doing is manually and physically, we are going towards that anyway. So the end result is either way, it does get done. Ideally, we'd all love to go into the full rapture and be there. I know myself. But having said this, what GPMS is, it provisions everything for a very instantaneous cleanup if we go through this manual route this way. So either way, it doesn't matter. It's just the length of linear time to get there. We do get there. It is inevitable. So
Yes.
with
Thank
I
you.
cannot answer it fully, but one thing I can say, which is so important, why we keep encouraging ones as many to consent with GPMS, because GPMS is an aligned energetic vehicle. So the more that you have together with this one goal and this one vision, it makes it happen quicker
Right.
because you need to
Mhm.
counter in the co-creator abilities of the individuals. And when you have more of them combined, the quicker it happens. And what I like to use an analogy of, which is true, how in the past, and you're with yoga, so you would know this, how one enlightened one can affect a million,
Mm.
if you will. So if we just use that number and we have if when we have 6,000 enlightened ones together, which is a relatively small number, but if you can envision that, then that means 6 billion of the population on Earth are advanced because of the result of the unity of those 6,000.
Yeah.
So it's the light quotient in the energetic quotient and alignment. So it's also why with GPMS, even though you, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, I keep saying it can happen in the blink of an eye, which it can with one viral moment, let's say of bringing a million that comes into GPMS, and if you have, let's say, 1,000 of those are enlightened ones, well, they're going to quickly attract 1 billion. So you're going to have your numbers, very quickly, and that's why this can happen on a manual level in the blink of an eye as well. But having said that, I got our sister Beatrice. Do you have the true sovereignty one, or do you wish for me to share the screen and we can read this off? It's not on our website yet, I don't think.
No, it
Uh,
is in your Facebook. You put already on your Facebook. The true sovereignty
all
is
right.
also described on the first paragraph of the decree, but you describe much better for all the people to see that on your Facebook.
Yeah, I'll put it up here,
Yes,
or you have it. All right, good.
yes, so it is here. If you'd like to read, or probably Nicole wants to read, please, Nicole.
Sure, that would be wonderful.
The true
Okay.
definition of sovereignty.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much. If I can see it. Okay.
Can you zoom in, Sister Beatrice, so the audience could see it maybe more? Can you zoom in?
I can. No, it's not possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can zoom it in though on the screen if you pinch and zoom as the individual. Okay. So the true definition of sovereignty. True sovereignty is not the limited jurisdiction-bound concept many states define on paper. It is the inherent and unconditional independence of the individual. Sovereignty begins with the inviolable right of self-determination, but extends far deeper. It includes the unlimited freedom to choose one's path, to define one's values, to create or withhold consent, and to determine the meaning and source of one's own worth. A sovereign individual is not merely a participant in a system. They are the origin point of authority, value, and decision. When a government claims that sovereignty exists while simultaneously restricting the individual's ability to exercise it, this is not sovereignty, but a contradiction in terms. True sovereignty is abundance, freedom, and self-authorship. Any model that attempts to confine, qualify, or condition it becomes an artificial construct rather than a lawful reality.
Thank you so much.
yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Sister Nicole. Yeah, so typically the illusion what the government's put over people, they say you're sovereign, we're a sovereign nation, but the reality of that is no. They'll put the illusion with the Constitution that you have all these rights, but then their legal and judicial system strips all of these rights away, that you only have privileges at their discretion. That is not sovereignty. The sovereignty is the individual's independence and choice, and as mentioned, abundance and all of the good things to come together. That is the true independence. It is the true sovereignty as it stands on earth. There are no true sovereign geographical nations, if you will. There's some sovereign groups. However, again, because of the outside circumstances, they also are prevented from realizing the full unlimited abundance because they're at the mercy of the outside world, which doesn't work that way yet. So what we are doing is this full glorified true sovereignty. We are expanding it worldwide with Divine GPMS so that all share in their individuality, their independence, and their true sovereignty. And then everyone together is sovereign brothers and sisters and children, and everyone coming together to make the beautiful, peaceful, abundant, and free and joyous world. Thank you.
so a little bit, Nicole, to become back to our discussion that started just a little bit before this link with property taxes that right now are very high, that seems to come property taxes on equity, but in reality, the equity, it is about an artificial price that it is extremely high. It is a price on inflation. So basically, the taxes are coming on inflation too. And it is the game, insurance, mortgage, jobs. Then finally, this is coming for the people to lose their housing. So it is a way for the population to get out from the houses. Just that you know that we have a lot of homeless, but at the same time there are thousands and thousands of housing that are free because it is the company BlackRock behind, and they are using their game to make the prices extremely high. Then the people enter in the cycle, and basically they remain without houses. So this is the game, but right now it seems that also BlackRock it's started to do not have place inside of the system, because this is started to insert, the system started to insert the light. When the system start to insert the light, basically the darkness implodes and everything implodes. So, and this time what we experience that the people start to have information directly from the system, that the system is not working anymore. Then they need to look for a solution, for another solution, and they need to come because the housing is there. We have not an immigration problem. We have a BlackRock Illuminati problem. This is our problem. And to start to know the true definition of the sovereignty, just to organize, then we come with the true law, do no harm, then we have everything. So GPMS is giving to the people housing for free. It is about the enough big housing, organic materials and everything. It will be like catalog. Then the people just choose if they want to live in very good apartments, not what that we have today. So will be basically apartments living in the nature, more inserting in the nature and respecting the nature at the same time. So the big city will be not the big city that we have today. And also for those that they want still land and housing, like a normal house, or but basically they can have that. So this can come for free. There is a lot of artificial intelligence that can work for the people, but we do not need a corporation. So we do not need the owners to earn a lot of money from the people work. So basically, with GPMS system, we start to work for ourselves. Then we can have the artificial intelligence that will work for ourselves, that can make housing for everyone if needed, but we have enough, but they are just on the hand of BlackRock. So it's just to recuperate from there. So it's just to change the law, do no harm. Then we start to recuperate all the housing. We'll have housing to start. We'll have the infrastructure to start. Then from there, we also can make, do not rely only on farming, on some farmers. The food will be everywhere. So it's not a problem that we will have no jobs. It's just to gather, unite, and we will work for the worldwide community. That basically it's making every area to be self-sufficient. So this will be not a problem anymore. So we start work for ourselves, only 10 hours per week, supervise the machine and everything. So the humans are above, the soul are above the system. So we will be not managed by the system, but we will manage the system and everything in our favor. So this is GPMS. It is extremely important to participate because our presence, online presence, it's also important, exactly as our presence on the street and everywhere where we can share GPMS. And it was also my pleasure yesterday to be on the street. It's still a winter here in North Canada, but the good time will come and I will be much more on the street speaking with people, because the people discover the true sovereignty, the true self-governance, not one that is told via the politician. So basically, exactly as Rick said, we can come from the situation that we have now, the transformation could be quickly if GPMS become viral. Then imagine that like today we were able to bring GPMS to the viral point. Then 1 month or 2 months after that, we can see the true transformation, because when the implementation of divine law it is in place on earth, then we start to experience basically to have access to the resources, to have access finally to the housing and everything. Then we will start to work for ourselves. So the transformation will come in weeks or immediately. So we just knock to the door. It is somebody there? No. So this was the BlackRock housing. Okay, thank you so much. Right now it's mine until I will have something better. So it is exactly like that. And we do not beg, please give me a job, please give me some money. In the 24 hours, so we can have money on our accounts. Then from there we start. This is GPMS. So GPMS, it is extremely strong right now. It's just for the people to gather, nothing else. So we are here. We are exactly here, and everything will come for us. All the good technology for the health. Health is free. The technology, the new technology is free. So we do not need to have companies in order to sell the technology or to get a higher price or something, nothing like that. And with GPMS, the true equality is coming. We'll have enough, absolutely much more than even needed for everyone. We become the shareholders of Earth infrastructure. So it's not a problem how much we can have. So right now, even that somebody has nothing, if it is a soul inside of the body, tomorrow we'll have everything as material. So basically we'll touch on the material. On the spiritual side, can have everything right now and can have everything in the future. But the material, if some people, they have not the material now, in the near future, they can have it just to choose GPMS. This is how strong GPMS is. Yes, Rick.
Oh, I was going to just say a little bit. BlackRock is an attribute of the beast system. And the beast system, how it works is with media propaganda. So let's say they use the BlackRock as a scapegoat, but it's actually theirs to, let's say, make people a little bit more relaxed to see with prices of all things, the darkness in the beast system controls that, but they use public sentiment. And also with this, what they're attempting to do is say, oh, BlackRock's a bad guy, get him out of there so we can let your prices drop. But it's all part of the same machine. Also, currently in Iran, with what's been occurring, is that you see some uh, videos or propaganda going viral where Iran is celebrating. These things are props that's put up by the system itself to cover up and to steer the public sentiment away from the reality of things. They did the same tactic in Venezuela when Trump went in there. But I'm going to go back with this tactic where they pay crowds to celebrate like this. And I'm going to go back to Iran in 1953 with the CIA of the USA and M16 from the UK with their interference in Iran. So what I'm first going to say is that the mostly Islamic nation of Iran, previous to that, they were having interfaith Christians, Muslims there, a little bit of conflict, but they were working together. Then in 1953, the CIA from the US and the UK the arena, and they began to interfere with the nation of Iran directly. And part of that interference was of the CIA and M16 from the UK at paying crowds to riot and to party and to do different things. So they were actually paid so that they can get the propaganda to give a different story to the world. Now, I need to also say what just occurred in Iran is very sick. It's looking like a US missile hit what they're saying a military facility next to a school. And at this point, I believe it's 148 children, all girls, to my knowledge, between the age of 7 and 12 years old that were killed in this murder. And this is very sick. And these are the things that they attempt to cover up so that the real news doesn't get out there. And what I'm saying with this, any military personnel in the US, in Israel, if you had a soul and any compassion, you would step down and leave the military now. This is sick. And not only this, in Palestine, when you look at what occurred with the US funding Israel with big bombs and weaponry that flattened Palestine, that killed mostly innocent women and children, tens of thousands, perhaps 70, 80,000, killed them. And when you look at what they're calling as a real threat, and even in Palestine, it was about 1,500 to 3,000 rebels. So they go and they slaughter 70 or 80,000 or perhaps even more innocent women and children and call this peaceful actions. No, it's mass genocide. And here they went and did it again in Iran. And then what do they do in Iran? Then they began putting out propaganda saying that Iran is celebrating. No, much of Iran is mourning and in deep grief, and especially with all these children killed. And this is what the people need to see. So, who controls the news and the media controls the sentiment of the people? And this is the deceit and the illusion by the beast machine. They did the same thing in Venezuela. What they did is they attacked human dignity and human sovereignty by going in and taking out Venezuela's leader and then making up shows that people were celebrating in the streets, that they were sovereign and free. When no, this is not what's occurring. It's the geopolitics of the old power regime. And it's all based on capitalism and greed at the expense of innocent women and children's lives, mostly. I tried to get a report to see how many military men were killed in these attacks on Iran, and it's very few. Everything that keeps popping up is 148 to perhaps 200 innocent children, and most of them girls. So this is a direct attack on femininity, on the feminine. This is all distorted and it's not what it seems. And also, there was no nuclear threat from Iran. It's the same as with Iraq. They used that to go in to attack Iraq. There were no nuclear weapons. It was all a lie. And they've done
Rick,
the
if I
same thing
may,
here once again. Yes, go ahead.
so I have a dear friend who's Iranian, and her father, they were exiled after he was on death row and eventually was released when the Shah took over. Um, but my question would be, what do you have to say then to the fall of Khomeini and the death of Khomeini in relation to biblical prophecy or comparison to the Haman and the Book of Esther?
That's an excellent question, and I don't think I can give that the full justice what it deserves. But what I will say is what I'm looking at is that when you look at the US and the UK, if you will, back in 1953, they were recognized mostly as Christian bodies. So when you have, let's say, Iran attacked by what was Christians that are supposed to be godlike, it creates a different imprint on the mentality of the Islamic religion. So you get a lot of distortion in there. And then what we've seen more recently um, is a lot of Christian persecution as a result, but it's because of the distorted beliefs and what have you. Now, with my opinion on what you're asking, I'm attempting here to stay mostly neutral on this and to see how it evolves. And one of the reasons is because within the Islamic faith and what was written is that a Mahdi would arise, a similar one to Christ. But what I've been given, it will be a feminine Mahdi that will arise out of the Islamic um, faith and will join with GPMS.
Mm.
Whoever that is, I have not seen her yet, but it is provision.
So you
So,
are
see,
saying that if left to its own course, the situation in Iran would naturally have evolved into the elevation of the Islamic um, systems, where you're saying that there would be this feminine that would come in and de-radicalize the regime and have neutralized then the Shah or Khomeini and that such, and that we didn't need, or not we, but the US and Israel didn't need to interfere to make that happen?
what I'm saying is we should at least go back to 1953 prior to that. Iran was actually advancing before that interference. Then that distorted everything with the timeline. So I can't say what would have occurred. What I can say, because of that direct interference, I see the animosity that it caused. But when I'm speaking about the Mahdi, I am speaking about now and in the near future in respect to that. Um, things were distorted and there's a mixed view with it, and it's difficult. Let's say perhaps I haven't delved in it enough to get it fully rationalized because the focus is on, bringing everyone together with this. So I don't think, fully answer what you're asking.
I think few of us probably could. I think just the discussion in and of itself is
I'd love to
beneficial.
hear it. Please share it if you will.
Oh no, I said I don't think any of us do have any
Oh, yeah.
any clear answer, and that's why I appreciate discussion into it and inquiry, to just see what comes through with the discussion of it. Um, and if I may as well ask, then its relation with the Stargate, right? We have because essentially the
We moved
manipulation
the
of this whole
Stargate.
sphere. Please.
We moved the Stargate 3 years ago, I believe, when we did the Mother Ark hub activation here in Romania.
Mhm.
So we had moved that. What used to be on the border of Iraq and Iran. So what we did is we dispositioned some of the material effects and the physics, the energetic effects. We moved that out of there because, yes, it was a very real thing, and it also caused much conflict over the past as a result of it. But not only that one, we've also done work with the important one in Afghanistan, which was a few decades or so ago, which was also discovered where American soldiers went missing. I don't know if you're informed on that in the cave. We also had to relocate that, the same as the one here in Romania in Mount Bucegi as well. These are very real holographic rooms and also stargates and other ancient, very important energetic instruments in the least, and they're connected with creation and reality. So these are very real. And I put out a video, I don't know if you watched it the other day, but also the US, the congressmen, when they had their meeting, I think 2 years ago or something, in that meeting, they say, we know that there's a intelligence here on Earth, if you will, that was not here at least before. And what we can say, it is the Christ consciousness, divine intelligence that is it's steering things because the darkness in the past had control, full control over everything and enslaving humanity. But what occurred is that then their things would not work properly. And they didn't really know what was going on. And they began to lose control of humanity with this awakening. So then they were able at least to identify that there's a higher consciousness that is on Earth, and it's all of those that are awaking and going through that super evolution of consciousness to civilize humanity. This current system is a savage beast system, if you will. So everything is all divinely organized, but there is somewhat still that respect of the free will choices. However, the time is running out for ones to make these choices. So they're, if you will, on both ways being forced to make a choice. What do you support? The beast system, if you support that, the capitalistic system, that will be your timeline of enslavement and destruction. Or do you support the ascending timeline, if you will, as well? And everyone is the judgment days are very real, but with the judgment days, each individual judges theirself by their choices, their actions, and their deeds as well. So it's simultaneously just many things that are occurring at once. But again, to keep it simple for everyone, be the best soul you can be, and keep your trust in yourself and your connection to God, and know that the new world is here. It's being created. It's being ratified every day by more and more, and it is inevitable. It's divinely guaranteed. It's just that this is playing out for ones that they need to make choices. They need to let go of supporting that old beast system that is creating harm, creating division, war, conflict, classes of people, poverty, causing death, even with its pharmaceutical practices and much, much more in the food, everything that it was doing. So yeah, anyone supporting that kind of a regime is not in alignment, with what is good and what is righteous and what is divine, and how what you would call a human should be like, not like a beast savage that is supporting everything that is inflicting harm upon humanity. I'll stop there. Thanks.
Yes, so I would like also to share a little bit about GPMS, and also another best, I would say, institution, but it's not exactly an institution. It is about a comparison. So basically nothing compared with GPMS, but it's just speaking about United Nations
Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative
Excuse me. Excuse me, I will put quickly, I do not know.
Versus the United Nations, the true.
Yes, so I do not know why my laptop choose again the script before versus the United Nations, because does not allow me to see that. Okay, but right now it can be seen. Okay.
GPMS versus the United Nations, the true voice of the people. Across the world today, the universal nation of divine, GPMS, world already carries a direct, voluntary, and sovereign voice of nearly 400,000 children, women, and men. This is not political representation. This is not a delegation of power to government. This is the people themselves choosing, signing, and standing in their inherent authority. In contrast, the so-called voice of the United Nations is not based on the people at all. Its decisions come from 15 members of the Security Council, 47 members of the Human Rights Council, and 193 political state representatives, none of whom are chosen by the world's population and many of whom represent governments engaged in corruption, abuse, or authoritarian control. When measured honestly, the GPMS voice is already larger, more legitimate, and more human than the UN has ever been. GPMS speaks through real individuals, not diplomats, not political elites, not unelected officials. Every GPMS signature is a sovereign consent, a living mandate that carries far greater moral and lawful weight than the procedural votes of government-appointed delegations. This is why GPMS is not merely a movement. It is the emerging universal jurisdiction of the people, grounded in natural law, human dignity, and the unalienable rights of all children, women, and men. As the world awakens, the contrast becomes unmistakable. The UN speaks about the people. GPMS speaks as the people. And the people, united through free will, now carry a voice stronger than any institution born of politics. This is the rise of true global sovereignty, and it has already begun. Visit, consent, vote with, and join today at Divine-gpms.world. It carries a direct.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So that is the truth. Although it may seem far-fetched for any, no, it is the real truth, and it's the true sovereignty. See, within GPMS, no one can be bought with what it is. And that's also another reason why GPMS is the strongest universal voice on Earth at this time and will be as it grows more. Um, what occurred? We also put out this week Public Notice 66. So Divine GPMS, mostly Sister Nya and I, have been very busy at putting out lawful documents and the lawful documents' effect at tearing down the legal systems which are not law. So what we did this week is we used the legal system uh, of Austria, but also the democratic judicial legal systems in other countries worldwide. It holds true with those what we have said. And what we have said is we stripped entirely any jurisdiction or any legal or lawful premise by family courts. They have no jurisdiction, and we've done this fully lawfully and legally. And this presentation, Public Notice number 66, what we put out, it has been emailed worldwide to many countries, I believe, and many rights organizations, European Union, even the Vatican got this. So this has been internationally emailed, sent out worldwide, I believe, to over 200 different recipients. That includes media, international media, the International Court of Justice, The Hague. Everyone's been informed of this important public notice. Law firms, family courts, especially in Austria, have also been informed of this. And not only this, some child um, services in Austria all have been informed of this, and their judiciary bodies as well. And this is a true legal and lawful, most powerful statement that they cannot ignore. And what this means, it has to dissemble worldwide the family court system that was also partisan and robbing children from parents worldwide, and then go into the trafficking and connects into Epstein, as you can see with the Secretariat General of the European um, human rights body, how he also was connected with Epstein. And this is important because this guy, the General Secretariat, he was in a position to uphold women's and children's rights as well. So you can see how this was a direct conflict, but where they have these bad criminal evil actors right at the top, you can see why, for example, in Europe, all of the missing children. And when we go to in Austria itself, with over 20,000 refugee missing children just in a few years vanished. So what occurred is they come into Austria to seek asylum. So the paperwork is filled out by these over 20,000 children in Austria. Then they vanish. They're not seen from again. But the ones that are some of the last to see them are the NGOs, the child services, and even the Jesuits in Austria. But this is not only limited to Austria, also Italy, same sort of thing. You see the systemic pattern with over 23,000 missing children. Then you go to the UK, and I think it was in the year 2024, in the UK alone, 83,000 children went missing in 1 year. When you go to the United States, it's more than what they're saying, but they'll tell you that in any year in the US that over 400,000 children go missing each year. But then when you come back to Europe, I believe it's over 50,000 each year just vanishes. But here's the thing, when you have customs, border agencies, when you have all of the technology that is present on the earth, these children should not be vanishing. So it simply tells you the involvement of governments and ones that are in governments, as you're seeing with the Secretariat General or what have you. But there's a lot more to come with this. And you also see the complacency with the churches, and especially the Vatican. We know what the Vatican is, but we have given them um, several times at least lawful statements and telling them, you are supposed to be the word of God to stand up for the innocent women and children. And we've not only the Vatican, we've sent it to the heads of major churches worldwide. what we were doing here, for to have them to come in and stand in solidarity and support to end this huge travesty and exploitation of children worldwide. We have not seen any come in yet. In Austria, we have informed, I believe it's over 40 of their most prominent media and news sources, with none of them reporting on this case of Cisternia, but also the national case within Austria and everything what's occurring. We did get some feedback secondhand that one guy that knew one that worked in the press, that they were given the order not to report on these things. So what you see is fear and intimidation also by the press to not give the truth to the people in Austria. But this is also prevalent worldwide because we've informed the mainstream media worldwide of all of these public lawful notices that we're putting out. And these public notices are truly fully well founded in true and absolute law. And in these cases, it also shows how what they are calling as law is not law at all, that it is actually criminal and is fully deceptive and is designed and supported at least to take and separate children from families and cause immense stress and harm on the parents and the children as well. And the reasoning, the deeper reasoning why this has extended so far with so many children being taken worldwide is because one thing, it's become a lucrative business. But number two, in the past, for the darkness to control humanity, they needed to control the younger generations, the children first. So by making them delinquents, derelicts, and making them psychotic, traumatic, by controlling a certain amount of the children, then they could control the generations as well, which was part of their deeper, insidious plan that's been divinely thwarted because everything is melting down. So, with this, anyone that is in any social worker or in child care services, I strongly suggest for you to leave your job now and to not be supporting these institutions as well, because they're no longer going to exist in the very near future. I'll stop there. Great.
Yes, thank you so much, Rick. So Lodi, where we are in Philippines with GPMS, what is happening there?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to share what's happening right now. Eh, as we all know that the work of darkness is getting um getting to stop what is happening, that the divine plan of GPMS is really near at its completion. What's happening now with the Philippines collection of names? Well, it is only in a certain part. So it's in Palawan that is somehow the brothers and sisters there are having challenges because of a certain person that is spreading rumors that GPMS is a scam. GPMS won't happen because of the delays. They this certain person is discouraging the people that she talks with about GPMS. But of course, we all know that nothing, no evil work can stop what is about to happen with GPMS divine plan. So I see it as the birthing process. Challenges do happen, and certain individuals are getting carried or being deceived, but we know that the energy of love cannot be stopped in this timeline. So it's just a process and we can get through it all. That's all I can share for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lodi. I was thinking these days a lot why we are not able to unite on the same direction of divine-gpms.world. And personally, I found also important to say in the last time, especially after second time Trump was chosen since November 2024, we have a lot of discrimination, racism, hate crimes on discrimination and racism as never before seen. So it's absolutely impossible to speak with the people because the people believe that others, that they are from another place, born place or something like, are coming here and they are breathing their oxygen. They will have no oxygen if we cut trees to make housing for everyone here. So, and this is the reason that they are homeless, the people born here. So what Trump did and white hats behind did with born American and non-born American, it is huge. And this is happening right now worldwide. So we are not able to unite because of that. And I started even a group and I will start to post there for the people to see that it's nothing that they share, it's true. We have enough resources. It's not a problem of resources. We have no any kind of the problem. So we need to unite in love and respect each other. We need to stop fighting each other because this is the reason that we are not able to unite. And the people when here, especially in Alberta, when they hear about no borders, they started to have a reaction that they never had like years before. So I'm in Alberta for years and I know them. So right now they started to believe if they have borders, they can become rich because they can have business with the oil and gas companies and everything. So this is huge. And what we need to share, and this is probably the one that we explained probably because of the delay of GPMS, yeah, exactly as you said, probably enter on the fear of or simple not confidence, but needs to hear that everyone that it's not letting others to consent with GPMS, it's basically making a crime against universal laws, and this is coming against herself. So for her protection, we need to make her to hear our words. So I will come in a Philippine meeting, then we will speak about this subject and on March Philippine meeting. And this will be one of my considered point of view here. So in Canada, I was looking even on the internet a little bit. We have the first generation and the second generation, it's about 44% in Canada. So basically a born child here that has a mother or the father born outside of this place, and also the first generation considered immigrant. We need even to remove this word immigrant. So it's about 44% of Canadian population. So what we'll have here, civil war, to start to fight to if born and non-born Canadian. This is all about 42 million in such great land that it is considered the second vast area in the world, because we do not have jobs and we do not have money and we do not have housing. I will expose BlackRock if it is necessary myself and all the Wall Streets and everything. But I don't think that I need to put this work too much to work on that, because the work is already done. It's just to share, nothing else. Then I will start to do that. Then I will start to show to the people that they do not need to fight each other, because basically what is happening here, especially since October 2025, it's impossible to live. So, and we have right now freedom fighter. What kind of the freedom is this one? When basically they come and they are saying, they make protests to get out of the immigrants from this country. And basically most of them, they refer right now to the Iran people. The Iran people, they have no peace there. They have no food, no housing, nothing. So they try to bring their children somewhere in the world to live, nothing else. But the interpretation is that if we are homeless in Canada, if we have not what to eat, why the government is giving the money to them more? But the money is unlimited. So the people need to start to know the truth. The money is unlimited. We have not a housing problem. The problem, it is BlackRock. It is about the governments. Then the BlackRock, basically it's the evil one that also via the monetary system and everything was playing the governments behind the scene, including Trudeau and everything. The people still believe that the East people, the people from the East, they are against the people from the West because they have more money or lifestyle or something like that. But this is not true. This is not true in Canada. This is all division coming from the top because the system, it is on the pyramid. This is about the politician and how the government is working. The people have no any kind of idea what really happens in Alberta. I was myself 1.5 years on the street in Ontario, speaking with people face to face. They had no idea what really happened in Alberta, in the west of the country, because the media does not inform them. So we need to stop this kind of, to start to reverse all the harm done by the United States, that is basically Vatican itself. Right now started a little bit of purification, and I hope that they will continue. So this BlackRock stuff seems to start to be more seen in this way in the last 3 months, and started more this month, more and more, and probably will continue, as Rick said, in the next 5 months. So we'll see what will happen. But it's about discrimination, racism, that it is skyrocketing. So the people are not able to understand each other. And I cannot say the package of the law, that the new law, new rule on the taxation and everything. So the taxation is also discrimination, because the people have no money, then the people have to leave their housing. So the people needs to start to understand universal laws and what the real definition of the discrimination and racism is. So probably, Eric, we need to work a little bit on the definition. We have some definition recognized by the Canada and the United States, but it's still not enough, because it's not the discrimination basically when it is not equal payment and everything is not inserted there, because the definition comes still from the capitalistic system. Yes, Rick.
Well, these are just all lobbyist mechanisms that they use to pin ones against each other. So, you have said it correctly, but the thing is not to get caught in those traps and speak the solution, as we always do. Father just prompted me to inform all of you, and he said in this way just now that I am ready in a moment to move and go anywhere where I need to go on Earth with GPMS. And let's say it being a divine delegate of it. So I need to say this, that I've been sitting here waiting with, let's say, some things energetically set up, but it's Father just saying, not yet, not yet, not yet, just holding me in place. Because, one reason is these things got to play out. But my important thing to share with all of you now, for whatever reason, Father said, I'm ready to go in a moment. If I was called or told to divinely go right now, this area, it would only take me about 5 minutes to pack, and I'm ready to move and go. And I believe part of the reason why I'm instructed to say this now, that this could also occur at any time. However, I have said this in the past and it hasn't occurred yet. But at this point, I'm ready to go and to, let's say, what I can say is to be more prominently out there for the world if I need to be as well. So again, I'm not saying this for wishful and hopeful thinking, to incentivize ones with this. What I am saying is that this is very real, and it's also to keep the encouragement there divinely as well, to let all of you know that everything is fine. It's just that things are divinely timed, and we've got to wait on that, and we're at the divine mercy of that. But again, yes, at any moment, it only takes me 5 minutes to pack. Everything I own, you can put in a duffel bag this big and the laptop on top of it. So I have, I travel light, pardon the pun, if you will, but that is the truth. And I can, in the blink of an eye, I'm ready to go. But I need to also say there's a good, joyful feeling with that, where Father said to share this right now. Because again, there are things that I divinely do that I don't share everything publicly. There's such a thing that with the divine plan, one of the old sayings, you don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing, if you will. So that means I'm pretty an extrovert at sharing everything divinely. But what I wish to say, there are some things that don't get out in the public because they're timed and they're worked upon for setting and provisioning the future as well, because there is a resistance that is out there, if you will. So it's interesting. And one part of the resistance, if you look at what occurred in the US with the AI company that the US was using for military intelligence, that one backed out because it could not be controlled. But you have OpenAI AI with ChatGPT got the contract, if you will, coming in. But the beauty of this is that we already, with the Christ consciousness, control the chat GPT. So this means that the military will not be able to operate as well as we said before. So there's very interesting higher things that occur with this. And of course, Bill Gates is a part shareholder in OpenAI. And what you see with the Epstein files at making the charges, then releasing ones, you see how they're all part of the setup in the illusion to make people think that ones are getting arrested when it's all a show again to quell the people, to trick them into thinking that the system, the beast system, is actually applying justice again when it's not. It's all of these illusions that it perpetrates out there to confuse humanity and to make humanity, as many of them as they could, to think that things are being done. But the great news is every moment more and more are awakening. So they see through these lies, and it cannot continue, as I say, much further, to my knowledge.
I was looking a little bit, there are only comments, not really question. Chris from Romania and also others are present there. So Agnes, what it is new with GPMS, how the people receive the message in Germany?
So what I've got it from today also, in connection with Germany. So there are everywhere a lot of people which are homeless, visible and also invisible, and how wonderful it would be if everyone could have a home. And just what can I say? That's we have enough homes really here in Germany, and the people can't afford the money because it's so expensive. And what they have to give to have a roof over the head is paper, a piece of paper. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense, and it's so much, and it goes on and on. Much more and more people can afford it. And what also I've got is this true sovereignty. It's so everyone can prove if someone can make a choice, if he's really sovereign. In most cases, you don't have a choice what happened here. So you are not sovereign in not any case. And so many how you live and what you buy and how you act, you don't have really choices. They make choices for you. So yeah, the most think they are sovereign, but they don't, and don't even see it. And also people which are in positions which see that there's not sovereign people, and also see there are free rooms and enough food for people, doesn't act, and they could act. So divine GPS word, it comes. I see there's no other solution for it, what's happened. And I think the people must just realize and feel it, what happened, by themselves and maybe from the neighbors, just to act and to develop, maybe I don't know, develop empathy, because everyone can feel it when it happened to them more. So and I feel also just something big happening still, and it's like the masks are falling down, and I can feel the vibration. It's something. It's still, of course, happening, and nothing. It's like it seems, especially in big cities, and yes, I'm looking forward for GPMS, Divine-gpms.world, that it's coming soon, and I'm sharing my cards, and I'm still very happy and powerful when I can share it, and especially when I see people which don't have so much money, but of course it's for everyone. So that's what I can do, and I do it if I have the possibilities. And also still talk with people and hear what they think and what they feel, just not to stay only in my own area and think what I think, just also ask questions, feel what I see, just to still be in the power and put this energy outside that I feel that it comes. Yeah, that's what I can share. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Agnes. So anyway, BlackRock, Blackstone, this is about that they had the hand all over the world, including in Germany. So we need to share and we need to show to the people the evil that basically it's coming with homeless and no food and discrimination and racism. And what we need also the solution for all that, it is Divine-gpms.world unite. Everson, I saw that you were on the street, you were also on the island in Brazil. How the people receive GPMS message?
Last days, I try to offer this divine GPS to two women, and they they just try to think, and I'm trying to answer any doubt that they have, but they seem to agree in the first moment. Let me think in my house when I come back house. And this is something, this makes me frustrated because why you don't make it now here? There's any doubt I can tell you about, and they, I don't know why they procrastinate to let it later. Why later? And about the Sister Agnes said, I see people, homeless people here in my city. I think they don't want help. If I could go there, offer, what kind of help do you need? I think they don't want help. As I can see, homeless people here. Thank you.
So Everson, just collect the name of for them. If you have the cell phone, then insert on divine-gpms.org if they agree. And for the people that they want to see the website, they are very welcome to take their time. But just if you give them a business card, probably they will do not give the credit, the business card away. So I hope that they will still keep it. Yeah, so yesterday when I share GPMS, I had someone that basically almost closed the door when hear about worldwide. So the word worldwide and no borders here in Alberta because they want to make the borders. They believe on the model, on the, it's even not a model. They believe that is the freedom. To make more borders, get rid of the immigrants. In reality, we have no immigrants. It's all about people. So basically, they remain with BlackRock here, an oil and gas company, but they get rid of the people. But anyway, and they believe this is the solution. And another one rejected the GPMS card when hear the word God. So God, it's no. So if God is not inside, yes, he cannot choose GPMS. This is true. And also depend what it is the definition of the God that believe. So here is not about the evil, it is about the true God, the God that it is, the God of everything that it is good. And this is why the true sovereign definition is possible to be shared via divine-gpms.org. Yeah, so if the people needs a little bit more time, it's okay. But in general, from yesterday as general answer, only around 10% of the people basically rejected GPMS cards or GPMS idea. All others had some interest on the ICE and they kept the GPMS cards. So this is a huge percentage compare when I was in the same times because right now we are during the time of divorce from the Canada here. So when I'm going to the protest there, I can speak with nobody, but when I'm going door to door, I can speak with much more the majority of them. So this is just amazing. So this show me that everything that happens to the protests is not really relevant for Alberta. This already showed me that. So this is clear, and I mean North, where normally the people should choose what the Alberta government provincial is doing, but not really. Some of them, yes, they are keeping that, but not all of them. So this is just amazing news. And I just want to have a little bit more warm time here because it is winter to travel in Ontario and to see much more what is happening there. Regarding, I met also some priests, the churches, I was to the churches. The problem with the churches, they have not the hours on the internet. So they are closed. They were closed when I was there. Even the hours on the internet are different. This is not a problem. I will travel again, but also I was on Drayton Valley. I was to the churches, but I found only few open when they said that they are open. The reaction in general, it's like they believe on the God that it is on the Bible and they are keeping the Bible. But what I saw also over the internet, it is that the Christianity from Alberta, because Alberta it is Christian, it's keeping up the Alberta independence movement. So I do not know how God from the Christianity can divide the people. I do not understand that. So I need to meet more priests and to start to speak a little bit about that, because basically it seems that the top of the Christianity in Alberta, it's moving with the independence of Alberta, but basically this is division. It's not unify the people, and the Christianity, it is all about unify the people. We are one. So these are very, very interesting concepts. Yeah, so the food banks start to close in Canada. So because we start to be so poor, then even that the food banks start to close here. But I spoke with one director from Edmonton, and when he saw GPMS, so he was interested. And he said, okay, so please share back here, and he will try to share, but basically he has not the opportunity to share like start to give mass emails or something like, because he will be put outside immediately. So we'll see. So the seats are there. I know that probably Edmonton bank food will be closed. So if the people may have some data, and they receive the GPMS cards in January, maybe they will share GPMS, even that they will be losing their jobs. I hope that. I hope with all my heart. So yeah, we'll start to see what is happening. So anyway. Yeah, so I will see. In general, Edmonton, it's more government-based, but we'll see what will happen. It's a very interesting capital of the Western Canada. We'll see what will happen soon. And probably this spring I may travel also towards British Columbia. I plan something. I will see what is there. Yeah, I will come with news soon. I see India, as is it's all the time here. India, it's not moving with consents forward. Some people from Romania start to call this week, but basically it seems that they are not real. The consents never move up. So destroying GPMS is not possible. GPMS is divine. Their time to understand that. Yeah, so if someone has something to add for this meeting. It was Chris from Romania that is basically to the point to ask about artificial intelligence, because there are people that right now wants to make a lawsuit because they think the artificial intelligence from the Facebook and also Google, that we know it is under the BlackRock, started to know their dots. And I said that right now we have also the light infiltration there. So it's not only the darkness that it's working through this artificial intelligence, but they want to file lawsuits for that. What we can tell them, Rick? How this type of the artificial intelligence right now can know their dots.
You know what I say, and this has been going on for years, that nothing on your phone or your computer is private. Even when you have your phone shut off, it has a crystal in it. And that crystal is a transmitter and a receiver. It's, for one example, what it does, it's connected to the satellite, which gives you the time on your phone. So if you ever wondered why you can shut your phone off or what have you, but the time remains constant, it's because of the crystal that has the constant contact with it that allows for it to accurately record time. So with this, you can have your phone shut off and you can be talking with someone that comes to visit you. And when you put your phone back on, because it also records the voice when your phone is off, what occurs is that on your Facebook profile or what have you, that you'll start seeing things that you spoke about as well. So this is part of the gimmick in the marketing that they do. So it's not that, yes, your device, it doesn't matter what device you have. The technology is here on Earth that anything can be listened into and nothing is encrypted. You'll have one saying, oh, the Signal app is encrypted. No, it's not. The technology has the encryption codes that it can read anything. So all of your governments, the darkness can read everything. But there's also the important thing for ones to know that when you see something appear on your phone, because of your thoughts, the important thing is don't think that the phone is reading your thoughts. You need to think that you're a co-creator and that you're actually creating these things to come up on your phone. So now, with any that you tell this to, it's important for them, let's say, put their phones down and go for a walk in the forest and perhaps say, I want to see an animal. And then when they got no phone with them and they go for a walk in the forest and they see an animal, and they'll say, all right, manifestation works. So then look at your phone, what you're doing. You're creating some of these things that are on there. And I know this is true. It's not that it's reading your thoughts, it's that you're recording it. Yes, some of them can read your thoughts, but do you want to give your power away to that and disassociate? Because that's what the darkness wants. It's more important for you to remain there with your consciousness contribution into the phones, into the electronic devices, because it's your consciousness and your energetic contribution that does not allow for the darkness to brainwash humanity. If all of you of the light, if all of us left the phones and the devices, humanity would crash because it would be conditioned into an even greater slavery. So ones need to know your power. The darkness doesn't have power over you. You are a co-creator. You're you are co-creating most of this, what you are seeing, if not all of it. It depends upon the individual. So you can do things. This is what I, suggest. Test it. Test your ability. If you think it's reading your thoughts, you need to know how powerful your thoughts are. And go for a walk in the forest without a phone and say you want to see a huge eagle or what have you. And when you go in the forest, you hear the cry and you look up, here's the huge eagle. The phone didn't create that, you did. So these are some things just to assist.
But
Uh,
Alex, speaking with Mircea these days, Mircea said something, but when basically somebody is looking after you or it's looking on your stuff, what are you afraid of? If you are aligned with universal laws, if your thoughts and action are aligned with universal laws, why do you care about? So basically, even the darkness technology is helping you when you are aligned with universal laws, when you want to know something or unite the people,
yeah,
it's working because we attract, is the law of attraction too. So basically, they are helping us also to unite. So if we exercise the universal laws and attraction and everything, so we will attract exactly what we need. So if the technology today it's able to read my mind, how I'm saying, or all the everything that we explain, um, if the technology is helping me, I do not care because basically I unite with the people. So it is a way to unite and just
exactly.
remain on the high frequency of universal laws and you pass over the artificial intelligence. So basically, even the evil artificial intelligence, it's able to help you when you are in a very high dimension because your dots are all the time aligned with universal laws. So basically, what you are speaking and what you are doing, it is aligned. So you should do not care about if you have the cell phone open or near you or in another place. So it is only when you
Exactly.
hide. When you hide, then things happen. So
Exactly. So you should be very happy and proud of your influence on your devices. You brought up the law of attraction, the law of assumption. It has different names, but these are the laws of your ability, your powers, and also these are laws of physics and energy, how things actually work. So it's just these ones, if they have fear in them, what they'll do is they'll disempower themselves by thinking these paranoid thoughts. So you need to know how to empower yourself, as you're saying, with what I've done in the past. And uh, I was always under surveillance. My phone's tapped, my computer tapped when I'm in the forest far away from any internet and writing an important post in the forest one time. All of a sudden, I got my hands back reading, and all of a sudden the cursor by itself erases it all. And I say, "What? I'm not connected to the." And I said, "What happened, Father?" And Father said, "That's their technology, that they can do that because of the crystalline plasma in your laptop. So it doesn't matter if you're on the internet or not, but it makes it fun." And, I speak freely with ones. I don't, I don't, uh, I don't stop what I'm saying. I say everything truthfully and I laugh if they listen in on it. but also they don't hear things the way that you're speaking them as well. They'll not hear exactly what you're saying if it's nefarious ones, because their intent is nefarious and the way they perceive things is different from one that is in total truth. So you'll say something, that is the truth, but they won't even hear it that way, and they won't see it that way either. So it becomes useless for them when you know your full power, no fear. It becomes useless for them to listen in on conversations because they're not getting the correct information.
So basically, you answered to my question on when I saw that the love is not constant in the Bible when I was on my 15, 16, or 14, and I started to see that it's not the same man as God, that it was presented there, sometimes in love, but sometimes not in love. And my question was when I realized that the Bible has not all the truth because it was changed by the darkness, by why some paragraph are coming like truth on the Bible, because the darkness was not able, it was so much truth and love there that the darkness was not able to see, that was not able to modify. So
I love that. Yes, I love it. Exactly.
so we
The
are on the
darkness.
same situation right now. So if we are speaking with such love and everything, basically we are not visible.
And that as well, you're absolutely correct. With ones, they become invisible. And I teach about this. There are times, and this is tied into also the green mist, what I was saying. You might think you're in the reality where other people are at, but when this green mist, not you don't even need the green mist. There are times you're not in the same reality. And I love the ones with the feminine that they'll be walking in a grocery store and someone will walk straight into them and say, I didn't see you, because they were vibrating at a higher frequency, that they were actually invisible. And I've done this myself. And that is a great example of it. Yes.
Yes, so this is true. Yes, this is true. I was also asked what it is the reaction of the, for everything that I'm doing here with GPMS, what it is the reaction of the police here. And I said, probably I'm invisible. No, I'm not invisible. The reaction is that the police here, they know that the law has also problems. And we preach unity and love, so nothing. We have no courts, we have nothing, no judgment. We do not judge others because we do not want to be judged. So unity and start to be on the correct direction and being high frequency and everything. Yeah. So very interesting. We are living in such interesting times, and we'll see what will occur on the next 5 months if the people are able to unite or not. Here in North America, I said all the time, Canada and the United States are sister, and we have enough people collected by the darkness all over the world. Then it's just for us to unite. That will be like a tsunami of love towards all other continents and places in the world. Then everybody can hear. So if we can start from here, just amazing. If we can start from Romania, just amazing. If not, Lodi is here. We can start from Philippines. We can start from everywhere in the world. This
I
is
keep,
just amazing.
if I may, I keep looking here. I'm waiting for Sister Lodi to put 4 more names in so we can have on the consents 8888. But do you have 4 more names, Sister Lodi?
We had the 888 and 555 for the children. Yesterday I saw that, but it was
Oh,
not
good.
888. It was some 3 8s on the number. Yes, Lodi.
No. It seems that father is not looking at it
Well,
right now. I don't have any more names. I've been inputted the last I think it's 5 or 6 earlier.
mhm. Yeah, I see them. Yeah, 7, I think. Yes. But also, it was interesting today on March 1st with how many children turned 18 in GPMS.
Now,
Uh,
Rick, we
it-
have the 888. Sorry for the interruption. 888 is here now during the time that we are speaking.
yes, but I'm waiting for 4 8s to come up. Yeah.
We are just
So
far away from 4.
we need 4 more, yes. But with the children, if you look here, how many had turned 18 on March 1st, their birthdays, right? Because yesterday I think we were at 57,057 children. So can you just go back to what is the current number with it? I
Yeah,
think it must have been about 100 children in GPMS turned 18 today, very close to it.
yeah, we are close to
Uh,
57,000.
whoa,
Yes.
whoa, more than that. Yeah, 50, we were 57,057. So actually 200. So 200 children today, close to it, or 199 turned 18 on March 1st. That's a huge number in GPMS in one day. That's why the number dropped, because when they turn 18, as you'll see in the brackets there, then the number with the children will go down and it fluctuates if no more children are coming in. But wow. So I was just sharing, I'm amazed on March 1st how many children um, turned 18 but have birthdays on March 1st as well. I love that because March is an important month. And I also love, we had a saying in Canada. I was a commercial fisherman and we would always watch the weather. So when March, if the first day of March come in and it was calm, no wind, we would say it comes in like a lamb. But usually with March in Canada, if the first day would be no wind in March, it would mean the last day would be like a lion that you would have lots of wind. So come in like a lamb, out like a lion, they used to say with March. But it's beautiful. Today was a peaceful day here, like a lamb, and we see all these children on March 1st. So just shared. But nevertheless, yeah, so we put out important documents again this week, and these are very powerful instruments, and everything that we're doing with this, it may have been ignored up to this point, but it comes to the point it cannot any longer be ignored. And these emails, what I sent out with this legal basis yesterday, and Sister Nya put them out also the other day. Uh, ICC it intentionally as well, so that ones can see that we send it to the politicians and also the judicial committees and also the media, so they can see that, we're giving it wide right out there, instead of them receiving just an email addressed to them. No, put all of the names in so that they know, the world, the media, that so many are being informed. But also by us documenting this, they are unable to say they didn't get it or hide it as well, because we also track the emails that are opened. So it's and when I was doing it to share with you yesterday, I was doing it in segments, and there was I was almost done. Well, I was done what I was going to do, and at that point, I had 144 in my inbox that had come back as replies, if you will, instant replies, and a mixture of some emails didn't go through. But the number 144 was a divine stamp onto what it was doing, if you will. And then after that, Father, I had to come in because Father said I had to send it also to I think it was some churches and things also. So see, when we inform the governments, national and international, we inform the courts, the rights commissions, the media, the law firms. Um, so we the churches, so we put it out with everyone being informed at the same time. So it's very important and very, very powerful, this last lawful truth we put out there. So they cannot ignore these things for very much longer because they are in what you call legal jeopardy very deep now by not complying with what we put out. It's absolute law. There is no jurisdiction for any of the family courts in any of the democratic countries because it violates their laws and it violates their constitution. And when something, there is what we call the law of contradiction. When you have laws and rights that are contradicting each other, it nullifies and voids that whole legal process as well. So they are in a very deep legal jeopardy with this that they cannot get out. So they have no choice whenever eventually to dissolve all of these family courts. But also for the Divine-gpms.world, there is none of that kind of foolishness that is in there. And there is no courts. There doesn't need to be any courts. You have complete harmony. There is nothing to fight over. When couples come together, they come together because of love. It's not because of money and protection like it was in the old, because you don't need money and you don't need protection in this full divine world that gives everything. So then when two comes together, a couple, they come together in love, and their children are born of love, and there's nothing to fight about. You know, all of these things from the old world with one's marrying because of money, marrying because of protection, or just marrying because they had mistakes. Well, there is no mistakes like this in the new world. It's also organically comes the individual responsibility and discipline. It happens organically with them, meaning that they don't go out and have casual sex. They'll be focused on a solid relationship, if you will. And this changes the entire family dynamics and it puts it where it should be. You know, as God put everything together, a masculine and a feminine comes together to procreate out of love. You don't have this interference from the east system, the outside system that caused all of this damage and stealing the children, causing the family harm. Oh, there's the trumpet I hear. Thank you.
Yeah, just to remember to everyone, GPMS, it is about universal status. It is about the true definition of the sovereignty, the true definition of the self-determination. I'm saying all the time also self-governance for all the people to understand what it is, the self-determination much better. And also we become shareholders of earth infrastructure, so all of us. So it's not about that we need to separate because some people may become rich than others, so it's really not the case. We'll become extremely rich. We'll have everything we need. The planet, it is extremely rich. It's just to have access to the resources. Then from there, we build everything in love. So if it is nothing else for today to share, I would like to say that we are almost on more than 2 hours. So we can meet soon, like next week, and would like for more people to come to become GPMS guardians, representative if they wish, and also just to gather consent, then this word, amazing word, it's about to happen. Thank you so much to everyone, and see you soon, like next week.
And with that, love and light and gratitude to everyone. And thank you, Sister Beatrice, for hosting. And I will shut our Facebook live off. I think I will. There it is.